Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing some of the topics that James Clear goes over in the book Atomic Habits. I think that this book has really changed the way that I think about a lot of the things that I do kind of mindlessly. It's kind of broken down what habits really are and mean to me. So I want to be going over some of the topics that he discusses and how to change your 2025 habits so that it sets you up for a more successful year towards the goals that you want to achieve, rather than trying to get rid of the ones that you don't really want to have for this year. So let's dive right into the video. So the first law in the book is to make whatever habit that you want to gain or something, is to make it obvious. And that basically means make it more present throughout your life. So if your habit is you want to read more, you need to do things like making the books in your house and put it in a more obvious place, put it right beside your bed instead of having your phone next to your bedside, and putting all of the books in your sight, and set reminders on your phone to read books. Do things that makes you remember, oh yes, this is the habit that I'm wanting to get down and learn about. This is the habit that I'm wanting to improve upon in my life. By you making it obvious, putting it in places where you usually might not have it, it reminds you oh yeah, okay, I need to get this done. This is gonna help me push towards my goal. Put it by your bedside, put the books by in front of your bed, put it on your kitchen counter, your dining table, put it in your study room, put it in your workout area. Just put it in places that you usually go to all the time anyway. Maybe put it on top of your computer, because I know a lot of people, if you're a student, you probably have a lot of work to do, or maybe you just play games on your computer. Put it next to places that will actually you will see it quite often, and it will remind your brain, oh hey, yes, this is the thing I'm supposed to be doing to achieve my goals. The next law to making sure you get a new habit completed and on your way to performing it better is to make that habit attractive. So to make that habit attractive, do something surround yourself with people who also want to complete that habit that you have, and also pair doing that habit with something you really enjoy. So again, let's say your habit is wanting to start reading more. Pair it with something that you already like doing. So say something along the lines of, after I read 10 pages, I will watch a show on Netflix or something. Or after I read 10 pages, I'm going to eat my favorite food. Or after I read 10 pages, I'm going to play this new video game that I wanted to do. Make it something that's more appetizing. Give yourself motivation to actually do the habit that you're wanting to complete. Give yourself some sort of reward and some type of motivation to get it done. If you don't want to make it oh, you have to reward yourself in order to complete your habit, do something that you like before you do your habit. So if you want to read 10 pages, maybe be okay, I'll play my video game for 10 minutes and then I'll read 10 pages, and something along the lines of that. Do something that makes you a little bit happier and more in a motivated headspace to do something else afterwards. That's part of making it attractive. It makes you actually want to do the habit now. Again, surrounding yourself with people, I think, is one of the best tips on making something attractive, a habit like this attractive, because you're seeing people who also have the same habit as you, and then you get to see their results, and it kind of makes you more motivated, and it's oh yes, I want to be like that. It's a positive influence. The third law to making a habit easier to accomplish is to make it easy. So to make it easy basically means you don't want to put a whole bunch of distractions or things in your way and make it a whole big thing to have to complete the habit that you want. So again, if we're taking the same analogy of reading of wanting to read 10 pages a day, or reading is the habit that you want to build more often, then something to make it easier is that you probably take your phone and put it on the opposite side of the room, or just put it in another room entirely. A lot of people feel like they need their phone, because again, in this age of social media addiction, everyone has their phone, and you're going to be more prompted to check your phone if you want to have happier feelings or because you're bored or something. Instead of checking your phone, you can put your phone in another room and limit that distraction. That makes it easier for you to, instead of seeing your phone, you go right straight to the book. Like you're putting less friction in the way of what you actually want to do. Another thing that he talks about in this is priming your environment, like making your environment more malleable, more so to put you where you want to be with your habit. If your habit is wanting to read again, maybe get a bookshelf for your room. Like a bookshelf, like you automatically know, oh, books go on bookshelves, so maybe I should put some books in my room, and you eventually fill up that bookshelf and you have a whole bunch of books, and now whenever you wake up, first thing you see in the morning is your bookshelf, instead of having to see your phone right next to you, and it automatically gives you the option, oh, I can read right now if I want to. It's kind of quiet in the morning. I can get things done in the morning. I should be reading right now. Let's go read right now. It makes it easier for you to accomplish that habit that you want to do. Another way to make something easier is do the 2-minute rule. He talks about the 2-minute rule. So basically it's make your habit, downscale your habit to be able to do it in 2 minutes or less. If your thing is reading, just say, okay, I'm just gonna read for 2 minutes. Wherever I end off in 2 minutes, I can be done with it, or I can keep going, whatever, that's fine. But all I know is I'm going to be reading for 2 minutes, and I can stop completely if I want to. And that kind of gives you the easier push. It's like, okay, so I'm not forcing myself to really do anything anymore. I'm just going to read for 2 minutes, and if I want to keep going after 2 minutes, I can. If I don't want to, I don't have to. And it kind of makes your brain, like, it puts less stress than, like, having to choose between your phone and having to read your book. Like, it makes it a little bit easier. And most people have kind of figured, have kind of seen, like, at least for me, it's worked out that way, that after I've already kind of started something, I end up just kind of wanting to complete it a little bit more, or finish it, or see, like, something like that. A lot of people kind of have the problem with just starting, and the 2-minute rule really helps you with the whole just starting thing. Like, really starting is really the hard part. So breaking your habit down into something a little bit smaller, being able to complete it in 2 minutes or less, that kind of helps you reach towards your goals and makes that a little bit easier. The next law is to make your habit satisfying. So that basically means, like, after you complete a habit, a lot of people stop their habits because they don't feel like they're being rewarded for it, or they don't see immediate results, and it's kind of unsatisfying, and so they immediately stop. That's why a lot of New Year's resolutions fail so often, is because they'll maybe say, like, if their thing was working out, they stop working out after like 3 days because they don't see an immediate result. So something that could help to stop that is to make your habit satisfying. Something that he talks about in the book as well is to get a habit tracker, and he has a habit tracker. He has a habit tracker at atomichabits.com/cheat sheet, right? A habit cheat sheet, something along the lines of this. But you can make a habit tracker, and you might be wondering, how is having a habit tracker going to make it satisfying? A lot of people, and it might be small, a lot of people feel like checking off a box or coloring in a circle or something along the lines of that makes it more satisfying. Like I know that I have a habit tracker, like I keep up with my reading and stuff, and just coloring in that little box. Like I have a little junk journal where I keep a habit tracker in it, and I basically made it a goal last September. I think it was September 20th. My goal was from September 20th, 2024 to September 20th, 2025 was to read at least 50 books between that time. So it gave me a whole year to read 50 books. And I basically drew like a little cute little bookshelf, and every time I finished a book, I got to color one of the books on the bookshelf in and write the name of the title of the book that I finished. And it honestly has helped quite a lot. Like I think I finished 10 books already so far, and it's only February. And I think it's made it like it really made it a lot more satisfying. Just to be able to see my little bookshelf coming along and seeing all the books that I've read, it makes it so satisfying to color in the books. So keep a little habit tracker, because honestly, something as simple and simple as that can honestly really help you when making it like something satisfying. And another way of keeping it satisfying is, again, kind of what we talked about in the making it easier section, is surrounding yourself with people who also have the same habit as you. Like you can see their progress, and it gives you motivation to keep going, because you're like, oh well, they're doing the thing that I want, they're having the habit that I want, and it's going to give me these results. And you're looking at their progress and you're seeing their, like, what their output is, and it looks really great. So it can help you in making it satisfying. If you aren't personally seeing results, that it can help show you that, look, my results will come. Look at all the work that they're doing and look at the results that they're getting. That's really satisfying to me. I want those results. And so it can help you be a little bit more satisfying if you have other people surrounding you and you get to see what they're doing as well. Another thing that can kind of help it be satisfying that he talks about is whenever there's always days where, like, you might miss doing one little thing towards your habit. So like if again, we're going back to the whole reading thing, there might be a day where you might accidentally miss to read 10 pages of a book, and that's perfectly fine. But he talks about making sure that you only ever miss one time and you go right immediately back into it. So let's say I've been having a reading streak for 13 days and I missed the 14th day. On the 15th day, I want to get immediately right back into it. Whether it be the first thing I do in the morning or the very last thing I do at night, I'm going to be reading those 10 pages. And it helps you get back into that groove, and it helps assure you in your mind that, yes, I am a person who reads. I am a reader. This is who I am. It is my identity. And it helps satisfy your mind and calm your mind, and helps prove that is your identity. I am a reader. I am a person who reads. I do enjoy reading. That is what I like to do. It kind of helps, like, it's very satisfying to know that, okay, this is the person who I am. This is who I'm becoming. Being able to get right back into it helps show you that you are able to keep up with your habits, and it's kind of like a confidence boost. It's like, okay, I know who I am. This is the type of person who I am, and I'm going to keep showing up for myself every single day, even if I happen to accidentally miss one. It's okay. Just get right back into it. On the opposite side of that, you might be asking, okay, well, those are all the habits and things that I can do to build up new and brand new habits, but what about the habits that I really don't like and I just want to get rid of? Like the chewing my nails or the being on my phone 24/7. Like, what do I do if I want to break those habits? And luckily, he goes over how to get rid of bad habits as well in this book. So I will share with you the laws of how to get rid of bad habits. And basically, all of those laws of getting rid of bad habits are the inverse of what we just shared of the good habits. So let's get right into that breaking bad habits section. So now that we know that the first law of building a good habit is to make it obvious, the inverse of that, to break a bad habit, would be make it invisible. So let's say my bad habit is being on my phone 24/7. The inverse law of making it obvious would be make it invisible. So I would want to put usually whenever I used to wake up, my phone was always right beside of my bed. Now it's on the complete opposite side of my room. I don't really have another room in the house where I can just like put my phone in, because we have everyone in all the rooms in all of our houses. So I put it on the opposite side of my room instead of it being right beside of my bed. That way, whenever I first wake up, I'm not facing my phone. I have right next to my bed, I have I have a nightstand, and I have like a little shelf on it, and that's where I have 2 books and a journal and a planner. And that way, the first thing I'm seeing are my books and my journal. That helps me stay off of my phone, because the first thing you see in the morning, the first thing people usually do is they grab their phone and they immediately look through their messages, or they grab their phone and they immediately open TikTok and do things like that. And if you want to break that bad habit, just having your phone near you all the time is not good for you. So you want to make the bad habit you're doing invisible. You want to get rid of it completely, entirely, things like that. So the inverse of the second law is basically saying to make the habit that you want to gain attractive. So the inverse of that is to obviously make it unattractive. So we're going to take the being on your phone example again. So being on your phone, how could we make that unattractive? Basically, there's an option in your phone where you can put your phone on grayscale mode. I think it's just in settings. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can go to settings and then type in a little search bar of their grayscale. That means basically whenever you press that little grayscale option, it'll put your phone and everything will be just completely black and white and gray. That takes away all the color, all of like the things like that. And it kind of, without all of the color, your eyes aren't getting hit with like so many like things that are purposefully trying to catch your attention. Everything's now in black and white, and it's kind of harder to grab your attention, and it kind of makes being on your phone less fun. Like if your phone's on grayscale mode and all the fun images and the YouTube videos and the games and all of those things, if they're all in black and white, it's kind of less fun. Like your eye isn't getting as much stimulation. anymore. So it kind of makes being on your phone less attractive. You could do things like deleting all of the games on your phone, deleting Instagram, deleting TikTok, and only if you wanted to go on there, you have to search it up in the website bar to access your account. Like, that makes it less attractive because we're so used to having an app, and all it takes is to click on one app, and then boom, you have the entire world at your face. So if you delete it, it kind of makes being on your phone less attractive because now, like, you don't have all of the fun things of the one click of a button. You have to actually put in work and go in the address bar and type that in and then re-log in all of your information to get on there. And then the websites are usually kind of worse than the actual apps itself. So it kind of makes being on your phone less attractive. So what could this be for, like, other habits? Biting your nails. If you're wanting to stop biting your nails, how to make that less attractive? Well, one thing that you could start doing is you could start actually trying to grow out your nails. Like something like, and it might seem like, well, duh, so I'm trying to do this, so I'm trying to stop biting my nails. But you could actually start purchasing things that will make your nails longer and stronger, and then next time you go to actually try to bite your nails, you're gonna be like, wait, I don't really want to do this because I just bought nail oil. Like, there's cuticle oils. Like, I personally am trying to grow out my nails too, and I use castor oil. It helps for nail and hair growth. And all you basically do is, I put it in a little nail oil bottle, and I basically rub it all around my cuticle right here, and it honestly has helped so much. And another thing I use, and I use the Sally Hansen nail strengthening thing. I get both of these. I got the castor oil from Amazon, and then I got the Sally Hansen from Walmart. They're both, the castor oil was only about $20-ish, and the Sally Hansen was about like $3. So it's not like really expensive, and you only really need to buy these like one time, and they'll last you for a few months. So it's not like you're gonna be like required a huge expensive purchase or anything, but like, yeah, let's say if you wanted to stop your nail biting habits, that would be a good way to make biting your nails unattractive, because now you're putting so much time and attention into your nails. And again, you could paint your nails too, even if you didn't want to do the nail strengthening solution. Like, if you're more into painting your nails, you could paint your nails too. That would make biting your nails so much less attractive, because now you're putting so much time and attention and love into your nails. It's like, I don't want to bite them because I literally just did this and I want them to grow out. So that's a way to make it more unattractive for you. So those are a few examples of how you can take a bad habit and make it unattractive, so make you want to less do them. So we talked about the third law, to gain a good habit was to make it easier. So obviously the inverse of the third law would be to make it more difficult. If you don't want it to be easy, it has to be difficult. So let's take the being on our phone example again for this one. How can we make that being more difficult? Well, for starters, we could do something like setting a screen time on our phone, and maybe, like, I know that some phones, like, for screen time, you can have a password on it. Maybe give your phone to a friend or give your phone to a parent and have them set a screen time amount on there for you, and only give them the password to be able to undo that screen time. So that whenever, let's say that your goal is to be on your phone for only 2 hours a day and that's it, they have the screen time password, only they can change it. And so it will help you be off of your phone a lot more than being on there. That makes it a lot more difficult to actually access your phone and to do anything with it, because now if you have a screen time on there, yeah, you might have your phone in your hand, but if you've already used up that 2 hours, you're kind of out of luck. So it helps it a lot more to make being on your phone a lot more difficult. And you can extend that to across all of your devices and things like that. For an example, for like if you're wanting to get rid of a habit like chewing your nails, something that can make it more difficult is like we have like fidget toys around and stuff. And so usually whenever you're wanting to bite your nails, it's not that you're like really wanting to bite your nails, it's just that you need something to like mess with. Like you're kind of wanting like something to fidget with. Get yourself a fidget toy. That way it'll take your brain off actually wanting to bite your nails, and it'll be more difficult for you to even think about biting your nails. Something like that. Like make the process a little bit more difficult for you to actually get to. Or if you want to make the phone example harder, you could just completely just give your phone to your friend or your parent or someone that you trust, so that you can't access it during a straight amount of time. Something like that. Make the habit, instead of making the habit easy and accessible to you, make it very, very difficult for you to actually get to the bad habit that you want to break. Is the last law of making a habit that you want to break gone for good is the inverse of the fourth law, which was to make it satisfying. And so obviously the inverse would be to make it unsatisfying. So basically one of the things that James Clear talks about in his book is to make a habit contract. So he basically gives you an example of you make a contract, write it down with your partner, and if you want to get even more crazy with it, get a lawyer involved if you want to, but that's like for crazy people. But write a habit contract with your partner, your friend, your parent, somebody, and basically write in it. If my example was staying off my phone, write in it, I will only be on my phone for 2 hours a day. If I am over my phone limit, so-and-so, I'm going to pay so-and-so $50. Or I'm going to stay off my phone I'm only going to be on my phone for 2 hours a day. If I'm over that 2 hours a day limit, then so-and-so I get to buy so-and-so dinner. I have to buy so-and-so dinner. Or just make it really inconvenient for you. Like you have to have, like, give yourself something to lose, in a sense. Like that shows, like, if you keep doing the habit that you want to, you have actual consequences that actually kind of damage, or that kind of makes it really inconvenient for you, like you're losing something over it. That way you'll definitely be less likely to actually do the thing, because you don't want to pay your partner or your parent or your friend $50. Like, that's $50. Like, you don't want to have to give away $50 for being on your phone for over 2 hours. Like, that's kind of silly. But it helps, because now that you both signed a contract and it's binding, you have to give them $50 if you don't do what you're supposed to do. And it really helps make that habit that you're trying to break really unsatisfying. Something that kind of extends to that, he says, is to get an accountability partner. Make whatever you're doing, like, have a person who's also trying to do it with you. Like, make sure that they're also there and they're also kind of in your space and kind of watching you and seeing what you're doing, and like you're both checking in with each other regularly to make sure that you're both staying off of what you're not supposed to be doing. It helps you a lot to make sure that, like, you're both, like, focused on your goals, you're both working toward the same goal, and it just helps a lot to know that you're not alone in trying to break a bad habit. Like, there's so many people all over the world every single day who is trying to break a bad habit. So it just really helps to have an accountability partner with you. So now that you know how to make and break a habit, I hope these tips can help you whenever you're trying to set goals and reach and accomplish your goals by the end of 2025. They've certainly helped me a lot. Like, I've been reading a lot more. I have been on my phone a lot less. I've actually been studying and planning out my weeks and creating videos and doing all the things that I actually want to a lot more than being and doing all of the bad habits. Because another thing that he kind of talks about is that whenever you finally are in the headspace and you're, like, creating your good habits, and you're finally on that track for the way your good habits kind of become just kind of like mindless things that you automatically do, it creates less time for you to fulfill your bad habits. Like, once you start putting those good habits in place, it's a lot harder and takes a lot longer for you to actually do all the bad habits that you're trying to break anyway, so you end up they end up falling off in a way. So, yeah.